Bexley! Hi, Dexter! Hi, Kinda Girlish! Hi, Sarah Zale! Hi, the Great Wizard! Hi, Dexter! Did I say hi to everyone? Okay, you guys, huge episode of Lab Girls Club. Honestly, you guys, the last episode I did was in October of last year, and it was with Bexley, and I feel like we peaked. There's nowhere else we could go. But, you know what? There's more baddies to introduce ourselves to. Good morning, you weeb AAA! Okay, this is Lab Girls Club. The skincare routine, I use La Roche-Posay face wash and moisturizer, but I think the glow is from the Glow Recipe watermelon mist spray that I use. And also, I glow because I stay hydrated and I mind my own business. Alright, you guys, let's get started. La Roche-Posay. So, tonight's episode features baddies from all across the country. We've got Femme Shep, the modern Marisa maven. We've got Daniela, the master Ryu. Who can stop her? And then I'm gonna be senpai'd by my senpai, Sarah Zale. So it's a huge night. I'm really excited. I just wanna listen to my favorite playlist that I want to play every time I stream. And if anyone has a problem with it, you can talk to my lawyer. I'm gonna call her. I wonder if I can just use this. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi!
Hello, I love that your profile pic is a cat. I have 3 of them.
I have one, but I love her. She's like 3.
Is she also very disruptive when you try to stream? Because I swear ours know when I'm trying to record something.
She isn't at first until she gets an expiration date where she's like, okay, I think you've done enough. Come hang out now.
When I first started playing on Leverless, my setup requires me to kind of stretch the wire across the room, and they were still kittens, so they would get the zoomies and just charge through it like it was the finish line ribbon in the Olympics and rip my controller out of the console during ranked.
Oh,
and I was just like, why did I sign up for this?
Oh no. Yeah, I moved my computer onto my desk because my cat figured out how to turn it on. Or turn it off. Okay.
I wish I were playing on a computer. I'm a console gamer. I'm on PS5.
Ooh.
I do some of my streaming stuff with my laptop as well. It's kind of convoluted. I'm using cloud streaming, but I am a PS5 player. I'm the only one at majors who actually shows up prepared instead of complaining about the lag.
Wow. And that's on tournament prep. You guys, by the way, everyone say hi to Femshep. She's on the stream.
Why am I waving? No one can see me. Why am I waving?
Alright, Femshep. Now we play.
Alright. But can I have player one side? Is that cool?
Yes, I want you to do whatever you want. Except, I am actually only a platinum. I'm not smurfing on you, so you don't have to, go easy on me, but...
Okay. Happy to see more modern players out here. Wi-Fi waifu is crazy. You need to buy a cable, girl.
Well, my router is all the way in my kitchen. It's so far, I won't do it. Okay, Femshep. When did you start playing Street Fighter? When did you get into fighting games?
I got into Street Fighter with Street Fighter 6. This is actually my first fighting game. I picked it up shortly after launch because of modern controls, making it more accessible for me to get into. And I played it just at home for a couple of months and was getting progressively more invested in it. And I kept thinking, I'm gonna hit a certain point where I'm happy with where I am, and then I'm just gonna want to stop playing. And I kept hitting like the next milestone, like, oh, I'll hit gold and then I'll be happy. I'll hit plat 1 and then I'll be happy. I got 3 characters to plat 1 and I was like, I'm still having fun. And I feel like I could get better, but I don't know how. So like, people do this outside of the internet, right? And I literally Googled Street Fighter tournament near me.
Really?
And like, that's how I found Start GG.
Wow! And then you just wait, and then now you're like kind of a celeb.
Well, niche internet micro celebrity, if you will. I need one of those hats from Etsy.
Yeah, hat from Etsy. Also, thank you for subscribing, please. That's funny. That's crazy. You're braver than I. I only have been to like a few offline things, but you do like the big stuff. You're going to Evo.
I'm going to Evo. I'm so grateful to my followers for helping crowdfund the remainder of the funds I needed to be able to go back to Evo. Because I had kind of a crazy experience last year where the controller company that I'm still working with this year, SGF Devices, had the money to just fully pay my way there. So I got to go just like for free.
Wow.
And that was really amazing because that really doesn't happen unless you're like a top player, because it's not worth it for a large org to spend their money on sending somebody that's pretty new.
Yeah, unless...
But since I was the only person they were sending as more of like an influencer type thing, then they could actually afford to do that. But the economy is rough, the tariffs are rough, they didn't have the money to cover everything for me this year.
Yeah.
So they are gonna cover my hotel room.
Ooh.
And I get to rep the controller that I rep for them at CEO, and I have a discount code with them right now through end of the month before Evo starts, where you can get 10% off with code Gladius, which is cool. But
ooh, code Gladius.
My entry fee is being covered by Paragon, so that also helped. But that left still needing to figure out like travel and food. And I needed, based on my estimates from last year of how expensive stuff got, even though I was sending the receipts to Matt, I was like, all right, I probably need like $1,000 for plane tickets, food, and like a buffer in case of emergency. Oh god.
Oh, you can gamble it!
No, I'm in burnout, that's not good. This is hard to do when I'm talking.
Fem shit!
But,
tell me, how does a person go from just discovering a game, trying out a local, to being sponsored? Were you playing other games before?
Nope, just this one, and that was largely a case of marketing myself a lot. I think people are under the impression that you can only get sponsored if you're like a top player, and that's true for like a big org. Like, I wasn't delusional enough to be like, oh, I'm a top level pro and I'm gonna join Team Liquid or I'm gonna join Cloud9. Like, they only want the absolute top half, the top 1%. So that's understandable. But you can go for a smaller org and be like, hey, I'm kind of up and coming, people are watching my stuff, I might make you look good, and kind of go and contact smaller orgs. And that's where you have to be smart about it and understand what it is that you want out of an org. Because in my case, I knew that I really wanted support to be able to get to more events. So there are a lot of orgs out there that are more like clans. I believe it was Stacy from the Mortal Kombat community that described them to me as t-shirt orgs, because you literally just get like their tag in front of your name in a t-shirt. Like, they don't do anything for you.
Oh.
So there's a lot of orgs out there like that. It's generally bad form to like talk about it, so I'm not gonna like name names.
I don't know anything.
You want to do your research and like ask people who are in an org what it is that they're getting from the org, if other people are getting more or less from the org, that kind of stuff. Ooh, nice. So I kind of ruled out a bunch of orgs that I was like, I don't just want a t-shirt, this isn't just about my ego, I want help getting to more events, and if they can't help me get to more events, then I am not really interested in working with them.
Wow. That's kind of girl boss. Yeah, that's one thing. So I followed you on Twitter for a while.
No!
And people love to say, like, you know, whatever. And I'm like, what this girl is good at is promotion and, like, self-promotion.
I think some of people's rage comes from the impression that if you are sponsored, it's because you are one of the best players in the world. And therefore, because you are sponsored, that they're, like, fully paying your way, dang it, all around the world. And like, that's just not true for the smaller orgs that are gonna sponsor somebody that's not top level. And it's definitely not true for me. Like I said, Paragon for Evo, like, they're covering my entry fee. That's not nothing, but like, it's not like Paragon is flying me all over the world at no cost to me to like go to events. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So I think some of it comes down to not just jealousy, like, but misunderstanding and thinking, man, she really didn't earn all of that support, which I would agree with if people were flying me all over the world, but they're not. That's just not how it actually works.
I think that...
Like, I'm getting guaranteed Paragon covers your entry fee to an event if you're in the org, and anything beyond that is dependent on the event. So like, for CEO, they were also able to cover my hotel room, and for Frosty, they were able to help with my hotel room. But in this case, like for Evo, because Evo is so big and they have so many like important people they need to take care of, they were only really able to do entry fee. So I think it's a combination of, yeah, there are people that are just jealous, or people that are just sexist, or they don't like gay people or whatever, but some of it I think probably comes from misunderstanding how it actually works. And I wish people were more open to having that conversation. I had a really weird interaction at CEO. I was talking to one of the guys in the like underground bracket in Jabali land, and he was telling me that his brother, who is also at this event, is one of those people that's always complaining about me being sponsored on Twitter because he thinks I didn't deserve it. And I was like, well, you know, if your brother's here, we're both here, we're offline. I'm a pretty open book. If you'd like to talk to me and hear about how I actually got sponsored, or how sponsorship should work, or advice on how to get sponsored if he wants to get sponsored, I'd be happy to do that. And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll pass it on. And I never even met that guy, because people have no balls offline. They only want to bother me on Twitter. They don't want to talk to me offline. They don't want to hear about what things are actually like, how things actually work.
No, that's so true, because they think they can just turn on a stream, be a master, say nothing for 45 minutes of a stream, and be like, well, why isn't anyone following me? Because I'm so good and blah, blah, blah. It's like, because you're mean, you're bad at streaming, and blah, blah, blah.
There are much better players than me out there that I think deserve to be sponsored and just don't understand how to promote themselves at all. They don't make content.
Yeah.
They don't really attempt to cater to their audience on stream. They just kind of stream their gameplay and complain about ranked, and like, that's it. They haven't branded themselves in any kind of way. Like, I specifically went after, I'm a very new player and I was able to figure it out. So if I could figure it out, then so could you. And that's kind of been my niche. But everybody's niche is going to be different. For some people, it's going to be, I'm the best Blanca in the world. For some people, it's going to be, I like to run Degenerate mix-up. Some people... Oh my god, I can't believe I landed that while I was talking. I'm going to run Degenerate mix-up on people, and that's my thing, is I'm the funny mix-up guy. Look at, like, Fidel. Like, he's an incredibly strong player, but he didn't get his momentum in content from being an incredibly strong player, and a better player than me. He got his momentum because he started the Dominican Mind Games thing, and people resonated with that and thought it was funny and started reposting it themselves, and that ended up getting him a lot of traction, and now he can use that platform to be like, hey, I'm actually a really good player, and I hope he ends up with, like, a lot of support over time. But that happened because he figured out how to market himself besides just being good at the game.
Yeah, marketing is real. I do like that you chalk up like a lot of this stuff to misunderstanding, and I was wondering how you feel about like the modern versus classic debate. Is there a misunderstanding? How do you feel about it?
I think sometimes it is people that have just literally never touched Modern and think it plays the game for you. Like, they see auto combo and they think you could, like, make your way to Master off of auto combos, which you can't. They're very suboptimal. Or they see one-button specials and they think it means that you don't have to learn anything else about how to play.
Can I show you my Marisa, too? I don't want to interrupt.
Do it! Like, they think you don't have to learn anything else about how to play a fighting game. Like, neutral, and combo routes, and resource management, and spacing, and corner carry, and all of the other things that go into a fighting game. So, there's definitely a degree of misunderstanding. Some of it, I think, can also come from people who think that if you're someone who likes modern controls and wants there to be more modern controls, you must, like, want motion inputs to go away. And I don't. I think motion inputs are fun. Like, the motion inputs that I can do, I really like using. And I want to see more games have the option to play to some degree with or without them. More games that approach it like Street Fighter or like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and just provide opportunities for more options.
Yeah, I agree, because I use the motion input too sometimes to do like DPs and stuff. Ah! That was scary.
That was a bad idea. Like, there's so many combo routes on Marisa where you have to do motion inputs. I didn't learn a single motion input until Master, but then it became, like, very apparent very quickly that if I wanted to continue advancing on the character, I had to learn routes that necessitated the motion input. Nice!
What made you choose Marisa out of the whole Street Fighter cast?
For one thing, the gladiator thing. Oh man, why did I try to do that? The gladiator thing. I love ancient Greece and Rome. I love gladiators. I was a Percy Jackson kid.
Yeah.
Like, I love mythology and all of those aesthetics. So I saw the Spartan helmet and went, that one. Like 100% that one.
Just from the jump. So, like, who's your favorite Greek goddess? Greek god?
I always thought I would have been an Athena kid, having read Percy Jackson, because I was a big bookworm and definitely a huge nerd, and Athena just made sense to me. I also hate spiders, so, like, that tracks.
Yeah. Arachnophobe.
100% arachnophobe. It's literally so bad. I used to mod Skyrim to make them all look like weirdly proportioned SpiderMan because I didn't want to look at them.
Oh man, they are kind of weirdly proportioned Spider-Mans. They're just proportioned to be small, not humans.
So like the combination of the gladiator thing and the fact it definitely like somewhat influenced that she was labeled as easy. Because I was like, great, that's probably helpful to learn. And she had a lot of target combos, which made more sense to me than having like a bajillion command normals. It was kind of like you hit this button twice and something happens, or you hit this button twice and something happens. Like building blocks that made it easier to get to grips with it. And then I just liked her playstyle immediately. I like instilling fear in people that you're gonna get kneeling on the screen.
Yeah. I like the way she looks.
I was gonna say, and just the fact that she's such a unique character design. How often do you see an 8-foot muscle lady in a fighting game? Like, when I bought Street Fighter, I was kind of expecting the girls to look the way the girls look in Tekken, where everybody's kind of built like a Barbie. And Marisa very much defies that stereotype.
Oh dear.
So that was really interesting to me. And also, her characterization throughout World Tour and her arcade mode, that they didn't just make her, like, a parody of being butch. Like, she also has some feminine interests. She's a jewelry designer. Like, she's got this wedding dress outfit. Like, she's still very much, like, feminine, too. And having that nuance to the character design was interesting to me. Plus the fact that she's canonically bi or pansexual in World Tour mode.
Yeah. Ah! Ah! So I started the game on Marisa. I was like, this is my girl, I love her, and then I moved on to Rashid when he came out. But I still love her.
I'm about to do something terrible. I'm sorry. Just modern things.
You're slaying. You don't have to be sorry. I'm learning. Hi, Cafe Bunk. Wait, I did play Chun. Okay, so I've played everybody.
You've played everybody. You've played a lot more characters than I have then. I've only really played like 4 or 5, and I've only seriously played 2 so far.
I love random. I was a random select main for a while because on Modern you kind of can be random select. I mean, every character and matchup is different, but like you can always do a light, you can always do a heavy, and you can always do a medium, which I thought was the most fun about the game. Is like, oh, I can play everyone. This is so fun.
Yeah, like at a lower level, it means that you can just pick it up and kind of goof off and fuck around, with whatever character it is that you want to try out. And I think that's a really neat part of the accessibility of the design, is that you can just pick it up. Like, at a higher level, Modern definitely has things that I feel could have been designed better, but especially for, like, brand new players, it's a massive success for accessibility.
Yeah. And that's why we're 5.5 million copies strong.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So this is a question, what is your proudest FGC moment so far? And you can pick 3 if picking 1 is hard.
Okay. Proudest FGC moment. Getting out of pools at EVO last year. To date, that was my first major for one thing. And to date, it's the only major where I've gotten out of pools because the talent is a lot more spread out at EVO. It's a lot easier overall to get out of pools at EVO. That's not to say that it's not an accomplishment, because it still is. But the pools are denser with like absolute killers in Frosty or CEO. Like, it got progressively harder. Frosty was a little bit harder, CEO was a lot harder. But EVO being my first major, like, I had really made up my mind. I want to prove to myself and to everybody else that I'm not fucking around and I want to get out of this pool. And achieving that really meant the world and a half to me, especially with my sponsor having gotten me there and being there and like cheering the whole time. Am I dead? Oh, I'm so dead. That was really incredible. Second to that, I would say probably, man. The first time that I actually got sets at a local. Like, let's say the first time I won money at a local, it was $5. But, like, I went to the car and called my mom. I was just like, Mom, I won money playing a video game. I think I could actually get good at this if I keep practicing. Because, like, there was definitely that fear when I started going to locals that there was no way. Because people were just so much better than me. I shouldn't have spent that. People were just so much better than me that I was like, am I ever going to be able to, like, scrap with any of these people? So making top 3 at our tiny, like, 8-person local at the brewery that one time and going home with $5 was just like, oh, I am making progress. I'm starting to figure it out. So that was really emotional. And then I would say probably after that, might be a weird one because I lost, but we played this ridiculous 1st to 10 at CEO this year between me and Anthrax's Bison, because I had beaten him 2-0 in the trash talk bracket the night before. So like the event ends and King Raichu just grabs me after top 8 and goes, you're playing a salty run back 1st to 10 with D'Angelo right now outside the Mexican restaurant. It was just on somebody's laptop. They'd already taken down like all the setups. So
10 is so many.
It was very like spur of the moment, and I was just kind of like, okay, this is happening, and I hadn't expected to beat him in the first place. So there was definitely a part of me that feared that in a longer set he was gonna figure it out, and then it was gonna be like a total wash, and I was gonna get embarrassed a little bit. But I wasn't about to like turn down the salty run back and look like I wasn't gonna talk my shit and stand on business. So we played, and I lost, but that shit was 8-10. Like, that shit was not free. That shit was extremely close. And he was still freaked out afterwards by how close it was, even though he won. And the crowd behind us, all my friends and their friends and everybody in the middle of the freaking hotel, just screaming and yelling and trash talking, and like, it was pure offline FGC, and it is a testament to the quality of the offline scene that I didn't feel like people were going to take it outside the game and be mean to me personally. Even though we were being super mean about each other's gameplay, I knew I was probably, like, they were going to keep it in the game, so I was more comfortable doing that. And the trash talk was just immaculate. Like, he hit me with the double perfect at one point, and everybody behind us yelling like, oh, double perfect, PP, whatever. They went crazy. A game later, he got 1 round, but then I double perfected him. And I got to turn around and just be like, does anybody want to speak up and say that again? Like, does anybody want to say that again?
Wow.
And, like, that is fighting games. I didn't even care that I lost because it was just so incredibly hype. And the energy is the kind of thing that you cannot replicate online. If people talk to me online the way they talked to me when we were all trash talking at a major, it would be hurtful. But when you're face to face in an offline environment and there's an understanding that at the end of the day you're all homies and you're all rooting for each other, that's just different. And I had more fun yelling at each other and taking some insults on the chin than I've had winning events. Like, that is what offline is about. And thank God one of my friends filmed the whole thing, because I didn't have any footage of it, and I got to watch it back and just be like, that was really something special. I hope people see that, because I put it in my CEO video. I hope people see that and go, okay, I need to go to an offline.
I need to go to an offline, I think.
Damn it, I dropped it.
What is your advice for someone who is, like, inexperienced going to an offline?
Do not go with the intention of winning anything, but don't become a massive doomer about how, like, oh, I'm just so bad and nobody here is actually gonna want to play with me because I'm so bad and I shouldn't even be here because I'm so bad. That's annoying. Being bad at the game is not annoying. Being bad at the game is part of the learning process. Constantly complaining that you're bad at the game and that nobody's gonna want to play with you is the only reason people wouldn't want to play with you. They are happy to play with you if you're bad. Just don't incessantly, like, insult yourself. You don't have to downplay yourself to that degree in order to be accepted in an offline environment. You just have to show up and be excited to be there. And, like, don't just focus on the tournament results. Like, play with as many people as possible. Just hang out with people. Cheer for whoever makes it to the finals. Get something good to eat. Like, it's not just about the results. But at the same time, if you do want to see improvement from attending an offline, then you definitely want to, like, talk to the people who beat you about what happened. Like, go and grab the guy that bodies you 2-0, no rounds dropped, and be like, okay, do you have any advice? Can we run it back? Can you, like, tell me what it is that went wrong? And then try to get 2 to 3 actionable things out of an event like that. And go home and work on those 2 to 3 things at a time. Because you will learn more from actually talking to people face to face at an offline than you would. Oh no! Oh my god, how?
Fireball!
That was weird. You will learn more from one day of actually talking to people in an offline environment than you would in, like, months and months of only playing ranked.
Yeah. This is why I'm glad that I talked to you, because today, like, my mantra to stream was like, okay, positive talk, be a baddie, no negative talk, because I think I'm someone who's like, well, I'm bad, you don't want to play with me, but I am glad that I got a chance to talk to you today, because I feel like online you're really good at talking well about yourself, and I think that is something that plagues the FGC.
Oh, that's because you don't see my tweets at 2 a.m. because you're probably asleep. My tweets
I'm
at 2 a.m.
probably
are all
asleep.
about how I'm ass and I will never get better because I just dropped 1,000 MR to complete and total idiots. Like, I still talk plenty bad about myself.
Damn. I do feel like something that plagues the community is, like, good players always just have to say their ass, even if they're really good.
I mean, the thing about that, and that used to annoy me a lot too. I remember I had a little bit of a spat with Brian F. I apologized to him about it in Evo, and he was already well over it because it bothered me more than it bothered him. But he had posted something about how he was just so terrible because he couldn't hit like 2k MR or whatever, and I was just like, do you realize how much better than almost everybody you are, and how unfair it is to be like, I'm bad, and how it makes other people feel bad? But, like, it's not about the other person. It's about comparing yourself to where you want to be relative to previous you. So, like, there was a point where I was like, if you're in master rank, you don't get to complain that you're bad because you're in master rank and I want to be in master rank. And then I hit master rank and I was like, well, if you're maintaining 1500 MR, then you don't get to complain that you're bad because I can't get out of the 1200s and this shit's really hard. And then it was like, if you're at least 1600, and it just, the bar keeps moving as to what I consider good, because everybody's, what they consider good is just who's better than them. So if you're playing worse than usual you're gonna feel like you're playing bad.
Yeah. Good point.
Like, if somebody's just posting, like, I do dislike the narrative that only, like, the best players in the world actually get to say they're good. I think that's shitty, and I think people should celebrate their accomplishments at every level. But, like, you can do that while being realistic. Like, I'm in, at 1700s MR, I'm in the top 3% of the player base or something. But there's huge skill gaps in every, like, 0.5% up from that point. So it's realistic to be like, well, I'm good, but there are a lot of people that are better than me. Whereas, like, if I were just like, oh, I'm not 2K MR, so I'm not even good at the game, yeah, that's a case of where I'm probably just getting caught up in my frustration that I'm not 1800 MR, because objectively, I'm very good at the game. But I feel all the places that I could be better at the game.
Yeah. So, femchefs, when you have those moments at 2 a.m. and you're like, I feel like ass, or blah, 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 what is something that you do to, like, remind yourself that you're a baddie and you've come a long way?
I go to bed. Usually later than I should, but I literally just have to sleep on it. There is no universe in which I can convince myself at 2 a.m. on tilt that I'm not the worst player ever born. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Like, at that point, I am so wound and I'm so frustrated watching the points go down. Like, there's nothing that's gonna convince me that I'm not ass. So, I need to go to sleep. I need to wake up the next day. If I can calm down in the moment, if it's not full-blown 2 a.m. tilt, if I can just remove from ranked, usually I want to try to go into the replay review of the match that I lost horribly and figure out, like, what specific things I did and how I could avoid doing those a second time. Because once I feel like I learned something, then I'm like, well, I must not be ass, because there are lots of people that lose that badly and don't learn anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like me.
You just need somebody to, like, go into replay reviews with you or do a set with you where they're specifically focused on, like, telling you, like I said, 2 to 3 building blocks at a time that you want to focus on. Like, I could even tell you just by the end of this long set 2 to 3 things that I'm noticing that you could definitely change.
Really?
Oops, wrong button.
Okay, I want to ask you, a marry, fuck, kill.
Oh,
are you
God.
ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Marisa, default costume 1. Marisa, wedding costume. And, she has 3, right?
Yeah.
Is this the third?
One is the suit.
And the suit. Marry, fuck, kill, all 3.
Obviously, I have to marry her in the wedding dress. It's a wedding dress. Not this one, though. It would have to be the white one, maybe the blue one.
Oh, you're
like,
traditional.
The thing I love about this one is that because it's, like, partially black, it's like she's dressed for a funeral, and then, surprise, it's yours.
I feel that right now.
But, so, obviously, marry Marisa in the wedding dress. I'm very torn between outfits 2 and 1. I think I might have to kill outfit 2, just because you can see less of her in outfit 2. Like, she still looks good, don't get me wrong, but, like, at least this outfit has, like, the open back, despite being a wedding dress.
And that's the business, right?
You can't see a lot of her muscles and things in outfit 2. And then outfit 1 is she comes home from her gladiating all sweaty with them arms, and I get pregnant.
Smash. And smash.
Don't ask me how that works. It would work. We'd find a way.
Love always finds a way. At least that's what they told me in sex ed.
Or maybe she gets pregnant. I don't know. Maybe we both get pregnant. I was about to say Happy Pride Month, but Pride Month's over. I'm sad.
It's still on this channel. till I die.
Oh, I got lucky. Shouldn't have done that.
Wow. Intense GGs.
Every now and then people, like, give me a hard time on Twitter about my, like, thirst posting, and I'm like, okay, first of all, it's not like I'm posting explicit things. Like, the worst I do is post I want redacted to redacted, and, like, whatever you read into that is up to you, because it's pretty heavily censored. But also, like, when Mike came out, like, every man on my TL was, like, full-blown gooning, and everybody was pretty generally chill about it. So if I want to talk about how I want Marisa's thighs to crush me like a watermelon, I think you guys can deal.
And I will deal. I love it. I love when people are horny on the main. I think we all should be.
I was definitely nervous coming into the FGC as a bisexual woman, and as a bisexual woman in a long-term relationship with another woman, that maybe that wasn't going to be respected, or it was going to be like, but don't you still need a man though? Or that people were going to be gross about it. And overwhelmingly, my experience as a queer woman in the FGC has just been that me and the immense number of straight guys can thirst for characters together. And I think that's how we heal the world. The Marisa Discord is just an army of cishet guys and me being like, biceps though.
And that's beautiful. And that's the community we love.
But thanks for having me on. This was definitely really fun. And as far as general, like, to give you like the super fast version, you parry constantly. I can throw you for free because you parry constantly. When you do hit me, you almost always spend 3 bars of your drive meter and as much super as you have, which leaves you with like no resources for the rest of the round. And every time you block something, if you don't parry, you mash.
Okay. What do I do?
So don't parry as much. It's okay to just block. Learn a couple of combos that don't spend any meter, like 1 or 2 B&Bs, and practice just using those for a while so that you can get used to doing damage without spending all your resources at once. And with the mashing, again, like literally just block. Just block solves the mashing problem and the parry problem.
Okay.
Like, just block and wait for them to do something that looks pretty obviously like it's not safe on block, and then kill them for it.
Okay, I wrote this down. I'm gonna talk to my senpai about it later.
Okay.
Thank you so much, FemShep. This was awesome.
Thank you for inviting me. This was really fun. And best of luck with the rest of the episode, too.
Thank you. You guys, that was FemShep! Hi Bon Bon, hi Plissy, hi Guy Incognito, hi NYC Max, hi Tervs, hi Bexley, hi Abyssal Soul Gaming, hi, I missed someone else too. Did I say hi Famish, hi the Streamer Savage, hi, I know I missed someone else. Blaze Effect! Okay, you guys, I'm so sorry. I'm such a bad streamer. Hi, FemShep! It's Lab Girls Club. A girl has to tell me it's okay. Can a girl tell me it was okay that I ignored everyone for a while? You've never told me that, Plissy. I've asked you to coach me and you say, no, I'm too busy playing with my real friends. That dark medium auto combo. Oh my god. Hi, Max. Oh my god. Thank you for gifting to FemShep. FemShep, I hope that you like your subscription. That is not what you told me. Show me the receipts. Thanks for being on Lab Girls Club. It's Lab Girls Club.